Hello, everyone, and welcome to FTB Sports Broadcasting. Today, we're joined by the unofficial pundit. Hello, welcome again, unofficial pundit.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I'm Solely United, and we are FTB. And today, we're going to go through quite a season, really, with Man United. We're going to probably start off today, unofficial pundit, by obviously, we're going to talk about a little bit about the appointment of Solskjaer, how fans' reaction, how social media basically can put us in a place, and I call it a dark place. So it's almost like we believe everything they're saying, and it's almost like if you don't step up to that level, you will fall into that trap. So let's start talking about Ole and obviously Jose Mourinho, and we're going to then go through a little bit with the Liverpool game as well. So obviously, we saw Jose Mourinho. We had him in, signed a 3-year contract, obviously. Then the Glazer, for some reason or another, when he was progressing, but obviously we know what Jose Mourinho is like. And then all of a sudden, like, they gave him a new contract, and obviously because there are certain players he wanted, but he didn't get. Now, do you think it's to do with Ed Woodward that those signings didn't come through, or do you believe, even though they gave him a contract, they were relying on him bringing the youth through?
I feel like they gave him a new contract because at the time we were second, so it looked like there was progress. When they gave him that season, we just finished second, so they thought, okay, there's progress here. I think it was that summer. I think Mourinho played it well. He knew by signing a new contract and then spitting his dummy out means he'd be getting more money. Everyone's in it for money. As you see, players hold clubs to ransom. Players will leave one club to go to another club just for money and things like that. I think Mourinho timed his spitting his dummy out well because he didn't do it the 2 summers before that. He never spat his dummy out. And all of a sudden he was starting. And I just think they clashed because when you look at it, Mourinho's saying that the 2 centre-backs he had signed weren't good enough in Lindelof and Bailly. But he also wanted to keep Jones and Smalling, was playing them more than Lindelof and Bailly. Where Ole's come in, bought 1 centre-back, and he's using Lindelof and Bailly. He's got rid of Smalling and Jones. He's using Lindelof and Bailly and proving that, do you know what? They are actually good enough. I know some people might disagree, but at the end of the day, we're top of the table. When Liverpool were top of the table 2 seasons ago, they hadn't even won the league yet. They hadn't won nothing yet. Everyone was raving about how great their defence was, how great their midfield is, how good their attack is. Well, those same things should be said about Manchester United because we are top. We did just knock Liverpool out. It's not as if we've had an easy ride. Oh, we're through in the FA Cup because we played League 2 teams. We've just knocked out the champions of England.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I think we was a lot better than them. I thought the scoreline didn't really reflect how good we was compared to them. That's the truth. If you look at both of their goals, even, I think it was very sloppy goals we gave away, where all 3 of our goals were good goals.
Yeah.
I also think that Mourinho was falling out with them. He didn't want Pogba anymore. I don't think the club wanted to get rid of Pogba just yet. He wasn't a big fan of Martial and Rashford. We know he wasn't a fan of Martial. Martial's loved at United by the board. Apparently, that's what the rumours have been for the last 18 months, 2 years, that he's loved there, and that's why they didn't want to get rid of him. It was a lot of stuff. He didn't want to use Fred. We're using Fred now. Like, if you speak to a lot of United fans, they'll tell you that Fred's been maybe our best player this season. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think Fred's been good.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of players up there. Bruno's been good. Rashford's been good. Luke Shaw's been sensational this season. So there's a lot of players up there.
Can I butt in and say something to you, though, about the whole sort of, again, I don't know, comparison, but I'm a Fred fan. I think Fred's been phenomenal for probably about a season and a half for United now, but he doesn't get the credit he does. Now, when I look at, say, for instance, Henderson get a lot of praise by the media, every single person, but Fred doesn't get nothing at all. Fred only, if he makes 1 mistake in a game, he get critiqued for it. But yet you can watch Henderson make probably 1 or 2 mistakes, and they're still, by the end of the season, they're praising him. It baffles me.
That just comes, number one, you're always going to get criticised if you play for Manchester United. And people will say, oh, it's because Henderson's English. It's got nothing to do with it, because Wayne Rooney has been arguably one of the greatest players in the Premier League era. and
Yes,
doesn't get the
100%.
doesn't get the praise he should have got. I'm sorry. Gerrard gets more praise than Rooney, and we know the figures and the trophies and everything. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's got nothing to do with that. I just think it's because Fred came in, and if Mourinho highlights you as a player not being good enough, you're gonna get stick. He done it with Shaw.
Yeah.
Shaw was absolutely hated at Manchester United, hated by every fan. There's a little. I've always loved Shaw. You can go through any one of my tweets.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never ever criticized Shaw. He's a player that I've always liked. But if you look at 99% of the United fans, they hated Shaw. Even the big pages. I see big pages now talking about how great Shaw is and all that. They're just following the trend.
Yeah.
The trend is now Shaw's great. Follow the trend, and that's what they're doing. And it gets a bit like, this is why social media is hated by a lot of people, by a lot of fans. This is why social media is so toxic. So I think that's why Fred got so much criticism, because Mourinho come out and basically said, not good enough. He weren't playing it.
Yeah.
If you look at it, when Fred first come in, Mourinho played Andres Pereira,
instead,
as our defensive midfielder. Like, hold up. How is Fred not starting? So I think that's where the fallout was with Mourinho, because it wasn't as if he was just saying I need one or two players. He was saying I need centre backs, not just one centre back. He wanted centre backs. He wanted new midfielders. He wanted a whole new front line, or if not Lukaku, then he definitely wanted two new wingers. It was like, hold up, we've bought you all these players. We bought you Mkhitaryan. We've got rid of him now and got you Sanchez. They're apparently both not good enough. We bought you Pogba. He's not good enough. We bought you Fred. He's not good enough. We bought you Bailly, Lindelof. They're not good enough. We bought you right back in Dalot. He's not good enough. Like, I think that's where the clash happened behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That's my honest opinion.
Also, as well, and again, I know I critique him quite a lot because I always sit there and say he's got two left feet. It's Lukaku, but again, he played Lukaku out position every single game, doesn't he? He's doing exactly what he done to Lukaku. Well, he's doing what he did to Lukaku to Kane right now, really, isn't he?
Dropping him too deep.
Dropping him too deep and taking the goals away from him.
It's like I love Harry Kane. I think he's sensational.
Oh, he's sensational.
That's my opinion, because not only can he score goals, he can pass the ball. His vision, his hold up play,
but brilliant.
I feel sorry for Harry Kane because he's dropped him so deep. And don't get me wrong, Harry Kane, if they went and won the Carling Cup now, because they haven't won a trophy yet, Harry Kane won't care about playing deeper if he's winning trophies. No player would. Wayne Rooney didn't. He played deeper so that Man United could win. But I feel sorry for Harry Kane in the sense of, if they don't win anything, Harry Kane won't get the same goals he should get because he's playing so deep. So I know what you mean about the Lukaku thing. And if you look at Mourinho's signings, apparently he wanted Morata first. Well, we know how that worked out. He flopped to Chelsea. So a lot of the players Mourinho wanted haven't exactly worked out. And then you look at Ole, and people say that United jumped the gun with giving him a contract after that little honeymoon period. But that wasn't why. It wasn't just the results that got Ole the job. It was the fact that there was a bit of unity in the team now, behind the scenes. We don't see all that. We don't see what's going on at Carrington Training Ground and how the players are feeling.
No.
And we just see the bond on the pitch or little pictures of what's going on at training. We don't see everything that's going on. I think they saw all that. They saw everything that was going on behind the scenes and thought, do you know what? We can give him a 2-3 year contract, because even if he doesn't get us back to winning trophies, we can move in the right direction with this guy. Steady the ship. And Ole, for me, Ole isn't the type of, I don't think he would want to get sacked. If it was going that bad, I reckon they could pull him in and the board could say to him, listen, Ole, at the end of the day, it's a results business. We've given you as long as we can. It's not really working out. This has got bad enough now. And I reckon you'd see Ole say, okay, do you know what? I'd rather step down than be sacked, because I'm a United supporter. Ole's a United supporter. I wouldn't want to be sacked. I wouldn't want to give up, but I wouldn't want to be sacked. So if I know that the next step is them to sack me, I'd rather say, do you know what? I'd rather leave on good terms.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's where I think the fallout happened. That's my opinion, though. That's where I think the fallout happened with Mourinho. It was a load of things that happened with Mourinho. And Mourinho knew he could time it right now, because I've just got a new contract. I can take the piss. They're going to have to pay me out big money if they sack me. And that's exactly what happened. He got sacked and he got paid good money.
Yeah, and his trick was as well. He played Scotty at the centre back as well for about 4 or 5 games as well, isn't he? Because he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. He knew. Come on, I know Scotty plays there for Scotland, but that's Scotland. How are you playing Scotty at centre back? Like, I remember when that was against West Ham. I think it was Scotty's first game at centre back. He was playing 5 at the back against West Ham, and they scored a goal, and Scotty played them on side. And I didn't criticise Scotty for that because I felt sorry for him. You're a midfielder. You've been thrown into this game. Man United ain't exactly doing well. We haven't started well in this season. And do you know what I mean? It's different.
It's throwing the line to the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And I just, you know what? It was so many of Mourinho's things. But the thing that killed me the most with Mourinho, I wasn't actually on Twitter when Mourinho was there, by the way. So I know a couple of people have said to me, oh, you're not Ole out, but you was Mourinho out. You don't know that about me because I wasn't on Twitter. You went on Twitter then. You know what I mean? I went on Twitter. But the thing with me with Mourinho most was, and what I love about Ole so much is the football was so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
It was.
With Ole, there might be games where I think it's not good enough and I think we're sitting too deep. But it's not as bad as it was with Mourinho. Yeah. With Mourinho, it was bad against teams like Brighton. Yeah. It was bad against teams. If we've just played Fulham, we didn't have a good game, but we dominated the game. If that's Mourinho, we don't dominate the game. We might beat them 2-1, but we don't dominate.
37%. Looking at most of his game for United when he was a manager, you're looking at anything between 36-37%. You look at games now for Tottenham, and the average for Tottenham, I think, if I remember rightly, is about 39% possession per game.
It's like, do you know what? I've watched Man United under Ferguson, and especially in the bigger games, it wasn't always a possession-based team. Ferguson didn't care about what the things that Pep tries to do now with Man City. That wasn't Ferguson. He couldn't sit there for 15 minutes just watching us pass the ball around, doing nothing with it. That was So it was never a possession-based team, but I don't want it to be that bad and that low, where it's like we don't want the ball.
Yeah,
it's not for me. I watched some of Tottenham's games, and I couldn't believe that they were top. I couldn't. I knew why they were top. They were getting 2 chances in a game and scoring both their chances, and they were keeping it compact. So I knew it would never last. But some of their games I've watched, I just think to myself, oh God, if I was a Tottenham fan, I would hate this. Like, I know what Mourinho is.
I think some of the fans, though, Tottenham fans, obviously, we got the Tottenham show on here as well on FTB Sports. I think a lot of the Spurs fans, they don't really care at the moment of what football they're playing, because all they're interested in at the moment is they're very close to a trophy. Like we spoke to Darius on the show with you as well, and like he said, he don't really care about anything providing Tottenham win a trophy.
But what happens, and let's move on from this because we're talking too much about Tottenham and Jose. I don't like talking about Jose. Not to be rude, but I just don't like talking about it. He gets my blood going, honestly.
Yeah.
But what happens now if they lose in the final to City? Are they still going to be happy with it? Are they going to be happy with this football? Because let's not forget they had Brentford in the semi-final. They had the best of the draw to get to a final. But if they're going to lose to City now, are they going to be happy the rest of the season playing this football? Because they've got Liverpool on Thursday.
Yeah,
now, I'm sorry.
Tough game.
They're at home. They should win this game because Liverpool are a really wounded animal right now, and they're struggling for goals. They're struggling to keep it tight at the back. With Kane and Son and people saying Ndombele found form and all that, I can't take that serious because it was against Wickham yesterday. I know Ndombele's been doing better, don't get me wrong.
He's been.
But they should be beating them. If they lose to Liverpool and then go and lose the final soon as well, can you take that football? But I know what you're saying and I understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, as for Ole, I just sometimes I have to pinch myself and think, are we really top? Like, are we actually? I know it's a fluke season.
Yeah, it is, of course.
It's a weird season at the moment.
You say that, so I talk to a lot, obviously, fans and stuff like that across the board, and people are trying to explain to me, telling me it's a weird season, it's a fluke season, we've got a pandemic, we've got this. I honestly don't buy into it, though. I don't buy into it. And the reason why I don't buy into it is the simple fact is I just honestly believe teams have worked out how to play against other clubs. That's it. Bottom line. Forget the pandemic, forget the fans in the stadium. I just honestly believe teams have gone away, come back in the season, and it's almost right. We're playing. The only thing I can take away from it is saying, right, there's not fans in the ground to give you that extra boost and extra, you know what I mean? Like Liverpool, it's almost having 13 like people on the pitch really when the fans keep going. But for me, I just honestly believe it's nothing to do. Our team just worked out how to play against other teams.
Fluke was probably the wrong word because it sounds like I'm saying that Man United are fluking it. What I meant was it's a funny old season.
Yeah.
In the sense of right now you can throw a blanket between like top 6 or 7 to United. There's only like maybe 6-7 points in it. Like you lose a couple of games, another team wins a couple of games. You could be look at Liverpool. If Tottenham win their game in hand, and if Tottenham was to beat Liverpool now on Thursday and Everton win their game, that Liverpool go like 7th. Right? That's how crazy. This was the team that a couple of weeks ago they were top.
Yeah.
And now they're close. That's how close it is. But I think you're right as well. Some of what you're saying. Listen, it doesn't help that fans ain't there, but that's for every team. So that shouldn't affect everyone that much. It's not as if Man United ain't got no fans, but the rest of the country have got fans. So we can say, oh, Joe, we're unlucky or we don't feel the pressure. But I also think teams have worked it out a little bit. I think managers have become more tactical themselves. And I also think it's the fact of when no one really wanted to spend in this pandemic market, a lot of teams have kept some of their players that might not have been there. Like Jack Grealish might not have been at Aston Villa anymore had it not been a pandemic summer. Wilfred Zaha might not have been at Crystal Palace anymore. And you can go so on. There's a lot of other players that you could say, do you know what? They might not be at those teams had there not been a pandemic. And then I'm not saying Villa have a decent little team, they do. But if you take Jack Grealish out of that team, Villa ain't going to be up where they are. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And if
he's a provider.
Yeah, and if you put Jack Grealish in one of the top 6 teams, they would be so much better, and Villa would be so much lower down. And same with Wilfred Zaha. If you took him out of Crystal Palace and put him somewhere else, I don't think Palace would have started off as well, and I think the other team would be doing better. So it's a load of things, but that doesn't mean that it's working in our favour.
No, of course not.
We let's be honest. We didn't have the best summer window.
Yeah,
it wasn't the greatest summer window. We signed an old striker who hadn't been playing for nearly a season. No offense to him. Cavani's come in and done decent. I don't believe all the fireworks everyone's going on like crazy. They're acting as if the guy's getting a goal a game or something. But he's done well, Cavani. He's done all right. Yeah. But he's an old striker who wasn't playing much for PSG last season. We signed Donny van der Beek, who can't seem to even get 5 minutes at the moment. Then we signed Telles, who isn't getting in front of Shaw. We know that. Tellers will probably play tomorrow because should give Shaw a break. And then who else did we sign? And then we signed a couple of kids like Palestri, Diallo. They're not going to be starting for United. So what summer window did we have?
Yeah, well, I think if I'm right there, Diallo now is going to go to playing under 23s. So he's going to be getting match sharp for under 23. I know what you're saying about obviously Cavani, about obviously we signed him, he's slightly older. But I think with that experience with Cavani, what he's brought into the club, and when I see him play, I think, to be honest with you, we've been missing that for the last couple of seasons now, haven't we, really? Because it's almost like he's bringing that momentum now. And his relationship, on Pogba's relationship now, seems like it's almost like they come together now.
Yeah, I don't know if you had a fire, if Martial hasn't hit the ground running.
No,
I think a lot of people take credit away from him. He was our top goal scorer last season. Take away Martial's goals, and it would have been a different season. People forget that in that period when Bruno came in, Bruno got 12 goals. Martial got 11 goals.
Yeah,
8 of Bruno's 12 goals were penalties. Not taking nothing away from Bruno. It's fantastic in that period, but none of Martial's goals were penalties. There were 11 goals, so that helped us get 3rd place. People take all that credit away, and he hits a little patch of 4 or 5 games where he's struggling a little bit, and it's everything's on him. I'll give you an example. That was a great header from Cavani that hit the post. But if that's Martial that hits the post against Liverpool, you would have seen fans, this is why he can't be our striker. How can you miss 8 yards out? You're in front of goal, no defenders around you. That's what would have been the talk, because it's the sheep. It's follow the trend at the moment. The trend is to bash Martial. And that's the trend. It's like I've seen loads of people bashing AWB.
Oh,
AWB's fantastic. But I'm seeing, because why? They can't bash Shaw at the moment because he's doing well. Yeah. So they're going to bash AWB. And I've seen the big accounts doing it because let's all be sheep. Let's all follow the trend. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do I think Cavani's been sensational? No, I don't. He come on against Southampton and was brilliant for us as a sub.
Yes.
He started against West Ham, was terrible, come off at half time. I can't remember the other game he started, wasn't great. I think come off in the 60th minute. And then you have him against Liverpool. I'm sorry, I don't think he was great. I looked at his stats after the game. He had a 57% pass accuracy, so he gave away half of his passes. He gave away the ball for the second Liverpool goal. I don't think he's been that great. But even if you say he has been good, Van der Beek don't start, Tellers don't start, Diallo ain't going to be starting, and Palestri ain't going to be starting. So our summer window, we literally bought no first-team players. And for me, that shows you that people can't just say, oh, that this pandemic has gone our way, because it ain't as if we went out and bought 4 world stars and we had the money to do it. Nobody else did. So that's why we've kicked on.
Yeah.
We're just doing better.
Yeah. Welcome, Green Devil. Pleasure having you back. And he basically said exactly what you're saying about Wan-Bissaka, about obviously the criticism and things like that. So he just basically put snap.
Just what's happening, Green Devil? And I think thanks for tuning in, bro. That's one of my boys. He's actually out from Singapore.
Oh, well, hello, mate. You're right.
And let me tell you, there's nobody that loves Manchester United more than this kid. I can tell you that right now. Honestly, even when we lose, he doesn't have a bad word to say about players. He really doesn't. Sometimes I rant to him, and he'll listen to my rant. He doesn't. Honestly, I don't think I know a United supporter that's as thick-skinned as him.
And
he tries to find positive. And listen, we all do. We all love United. I'm not saying he loves them more than us, but I'm telling you, this kid, he always try to find a positive even from something bad.
Yeah, and also he's saying about obviously, what is it? I do not feel it's fair to compare Martial and Cavani. Martial could be
a player for a couple of years. What he's saying is Martial could be the player for us for the next 7 years.
It could be,
where Cavani's got a year or two, and it's true. You shouldn't be comparing them.
And he said, he loved both of them, so it's unfair on people obviously judging, which is very true. Pundit,
what's happening, Victor? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. It's another one of my. You know what? I got some really good followers on Instagram. I need to do a little bit more on Instagram. What's my opinion on Martial currently? I'll be honest with you. I'm upset with Ole. And it's not that I'm angry with Ole in that sense. I'm just a bit upset with Ole because I believe you've given Martial the number 9 shirt.
Yes.
You've played him up front all season last season. He's repaid you in being top goal scorer. Yeah, he didn't get 30 goals. Well, Andy Cole and Dwight York didn't get 30 goals every season. They didn't.
No.
We went and bought a striker in Van Nistelrooy who did get you 30 goals, and we didn't do as well. We got rid of Van Nistelrooy and played Tevez and Rooney up front, who didn't get you 30 goals, and we won everything again. So not always a 30 goal striker, but for me with Martial, he's struggling a little bit, and I don't believe Ole. If the player's struggling, put your arm around him, bench him for a couple of games, but explain to him why. Say, listen, you're out of form. Have a little rest. You'll come back and you'll get goals. Don't stick him out on the left, because for me, Martial's not a left winger. I don't care. Like he's been at United. This is his 6th season. The previous 5 seasons, he's played 3 on the left wing. He hasn't done it. He's played 2 up front, and he's been our top goal scorer both seasons. Yeah. So it tells me that he's better up front than he is on the left wing.
I think with Martial as well, I think bringing Cavani in as well, once Cavani, I obviously believe they're going to give Cavani a new contract anyway. Cavani isn't going to play every game, but honestly believe he will give Martial so much confidence. Martial will be a different striker, complete different striker next season for United. Completely different.
I hope so. We said that about Zlatan, and it didn't seem to do anything for the players. I don't feel Cavani, with what happened with him at PSG, I don't think he's coming to Manchester United to try to help Greenwood, Martial, and Rashford. He's coming to revitalise his own career. Because Go on.
I was saying, I watched an interview with Bruno Fernandes the other day. And what Bruno Fernandes said is basically Cavani coming in has basically all the young players is put them onto another level. Now we're talking about Zlatan. Zlatan to me, it was a different sort of character. Zlatan was quality, but I think Zlatan was more about himself rather than the actual team. It was about what he's going to do. So obviously when Zlatan and Pogba was there, it was like the egos come together.
Yeah.
I
I know what
think
you mean.
with Cavani, and where with Pogba, I watched the Fulham game and after not Southampton game, sorry, and it's when they did the huddle, and I just thought, you know what? A lot of people criticizing Cavani for the money he's on. A lot of people keep criticizing Pogba for no reason whatsoever because of his agent. But you just saw the bond, like you said right at the beginning. It's almost like Solskjaer is almost create this like ambiance now in the club where players are like holding each other and they're fighting for each other now.
Listen, I can't argue that, but the thing for me with that is if Cavani's doing that, we're not seeing the effects of Martial. So when will we see the effects of Martial? And this is where I come back to. I don't mind Cavani starting over Martial if Ole thinks that's the right decision for that game.
Yeah.
Back to manager.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see Martial starting on the left because now if Cavani left in the summer, wanted to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You've been playing Martial sometimes as a striker, sometimes out on the left. He hasn't progressed as a striker.
Yeah.
And now you want him to be your main striker again, or you got to go and sign a new striker.
Yeah.
So Ole now has to choose. Is Martial good enough up front or is he not? If he's not, use this year to look for a player who can come in and play the striker. But he's not a left winger. I'm sorry. We do not see this. We're moving Rashford out of his best position to put Martial there, to put Cavani up front. That's wrong for me. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's almost like when he does it with Pogba as well, where he tried to play Pogba on that left-hand side as well.
Yeah, it's wrong for me, and it's like I don't like the diamond formation.
Yeah.
Now we started at Anfield against Liverpool in the league with a diamond. It was one of the worst games I've ever watched until the last 10 minutes where we had two good chances. Yeah. Other than that, it was one of the worst games I've watched this season.
Yeah.
Then
sorry. Let me just quickly go through. I'm coming back to you. So Victor saying about no, honestly, Martial is out of form. It's hard to deny that, but he will be back in form soon. We said that. And then no, Zlatan is not ego.
I think he took that the wrong way. Zlatan, what makes Zlatan is that confidence, that ego he has. That's what makes Zlatan such an incredible player, because he has that arrogance, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's arrogance, but the arrogance come with he knows how good he is. And like he said, I don't need to win Ballon d'Or. I don't need to win none of that. I know what a player I am. So, yeah. And then Green Devil, sorry. I never understood the fan base. Someone's doing well, so that's person they bench is shit. We don't really have shit players anymore. Think, Ole, we just need to balance it now. Yeah, which is true. I agree.
I couldn't agree with him more. We need some balance. We've got the biggest issue for me is we've got no right winger. I'm sorry. I love Greenwood, but even if you see his finish the other day, Greenwood's more of a young striker. I want to see. One day I want to see Greenwood as striker, because I think a striker who's skillful and shoot with both feet. How do you stop him in the box? It's going to be so hard. It's
difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard.
August, welcome. We're gonna go back to you because obviously I'll stop you mid-conversation to read the comments. Should United sell or keep Pogba? Go on, hit us, because this is a split thing here with all fans.
From listen, I've been against Pogba since he said he wanted to leave, but with the way he's putting in performances at the moment and the way he played against Liverpool, not only was he good going forward, he was tackling, he was fighting for the ball, he was getting back. It's down to Pogba. It's not whether we should keep him or sell him.
Yeah.
It's up to whether he wants to stay or go. You should not be forcing a player to stay who does not want to be at Manchester United. End of story.
100%.
If Pogba comes out near the summer and says, I want to stay at Man United, I'm happy here, then yes, we should give him a new contract and we should keep him. If he comes out and says, and he's not sure, and you can see on his face, really wants to say, I want to go, let the man go. It is what it is. And you move on.
You respect him, innit? You move on. Man United will still be a club in 100 years' time. So you move
100%.
100%. What's this now? He's a team player. Look at how he was lifted Milan.
He's talking about Zlatan.
Zlatan,
we wasn't talking about Victor. We wasn't talking about. It wasn't a negative to Zlatan, but his ego is what lifted Milan as well. Yeah, and you know that from when he leaves Milan, they don't do as well. the minute he'll leave Milan, it's because that ego rubs off onto other players. But it doesn't mean it makes them better after he's gone. They might be better when he's there, but not when he's gone. Martial still needs to develop his game as a number 9. Sorry, shall we? I'll just start.
Yeah, go on, because you can see better. Yeah, he started, so you finish it.
Develop as a number 9 if that's the plan. When we are rotating Cavani and Martial around, and so listen,
that's true. Yeah,
Martial still needs to develop as a number 9, and playing him out on the left wing doesn't work for me. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Again, keep him. He's good good when he's on form. Jesus, who's that? Is he talking about Pogba? I guess it's going to be Pogba, isn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah. If we want Martial to learn off Cavani in the number 9 position, then he probably has to play in a position to understand Cavani movement. Yeah, it's very true. I saw something today where Cavani came out and said that basically he still goes home, he still watches video of Batistuta, and he learned his game around Batistuta.
Who, Cavani?
Cavani, yeah. Learned his game around Batistuta and still play it. Still does it now. And
we all know how good. Whoever's watching this and doesn't know how good Batistuta is.
Gabriel Batistuta.
Just put on a YouTube collection of his goals, and you'll see some of the best goals you're ever going to see. The guy was amazing.
Yeah. Also, whoever is watching as well, please like, subscribe, share the page. Also, I have my own Solo United professional page on Facebook, and I actually shared a couple of Gabriel Batistuta's videos on that page today.
Oh, lovely. I'll definitely look at that. Yeah, his name was Victor, just put down the bottom, he put Batty goal. Yep, that was his name.
Yeah. Jay Roberts, I take Sancho over Grealish any day. We need a right winger badly, so Sancho will go.
Go on, Solo. Go on, bro.
Would you, for me now, we keep talking about Sancho. Now, we've just got this Delar guy. What I've heard, the rumors about him, United will not go in for Sancho because they reckon he's going to be better than Sancho. They believe it, the way he is, he's going to. We paid something like, it's going to work out to be about 38 million all in for him. So the reports are saying we're not going to go get Sancho because they believe this guy's going to be better than Sancho, and he's younger as well than Sancho. Would I go pay 100 million for Sancho? No, I wouldn't. Not in the current climate. I honestly wouldn't.
I would. I think that's what I think we missed a trick. I wouldn't say I would take Sancho over Grealish. I understand see, this is such a hard one for me because really, if I'm looking at it as a perspective of the team and the team balance, then Sancho's the right signing.
Yeah.
If I'm looking, so what Jay's saying there, it's true because Sancho's the right signing for me because we need a right winger.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at the overall player, then for me, Jack Grealish at the moment is one of the best players in the Premier League. I just think he's sensational in everything he does. But
with
the Diallo and Sancho thing, I can't agree with you. That's one thing I won't agree with you with, Solo. Sorry, mate.
That's all right.
I don't think we even know how good Diallo's going to be. Do you know what? Yeah. If he had been doing it for the last season or two for Atalanta, I would say yes. But he was playing youth football over there. He could come into the Premier. I've seen better players for their teams who have played a couple of seasons for their teams come from places like that, and they just can't live up to the pace. They can't live up to the strength, the power, the physicality of the Premier League, and they just fade away. And he's a little kid. I don't want to rush him. With Sancho, he was brought up on English football. He's sort of got to know it.
Can we guess who the picture? Who's that? We got to have a look at the profile picture. I can't really see who that is. Can we guess who the player is? I can't see the picture.
I can't really see it.
Could that be Batistuta? It looks swingy. No, it's not Batistuta. It looks Swedish. It looks like Swedish.
It's a Swedish top.
Swedish top, yeah. It's a Swedish top.
I know that.
Yes, it looks like a Swedish top.
I just can't see the player properly. Yeah. If you asked me a Danish player, I'd have known it a bit better because that's where I was born.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. So but again, for me, right now, going into sort of like talking about the Henningberg.
Halberg. Obviously, it's in his name as well. What was you saying, bro?
Yeah. So, that's hello, Romeo. How you doing, mate? Welcome. So what it is, it's basically the way I look at it right now, like a lot of fan base are saying sort of like you got the Ole and the Ole out gang. For me, when Ole signed that contract, I was happy because he brought that sort of calmness back to the club. But for me, I personally sat there and I was like, oh, because I love Pochettino. I know a lot of people say he doesn't win things, but I like Poch. So I was like, okay, Poch probably would have been my number one choice. But what I've noticed is there's still a lot of people out there who want us to lose games. So Solskjaer loses his job. And for me, I would sit there and it's just like, I remember when Ferguson came in at United, you know, it took him 5 years. And I can remember people going on, oh, Ferguson's out, Ferguson out, Ferguson out. Now, look at it. Everyone, it's all forgotten about this whole Ferguson out. Now, for me, Solskjaer still got to prove me if we finish second or if we win the title, we would have said, yeah, he brought the team on. Why do you think fan base is still on his back? Because, like I said, I'm not Ole in, I'm not Ole out. Bro, I'm just sitting on the fence.
Bro, but it's very simple. It's if they like somebody, they'll stick up for them. If they don't, I'll give you an example. You're on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
The guy, you can go and have a look. His name's Rick the Red. He's an old guy. He hates Marcus Rashford. I don't mean disliked him.
Yeah.
I was outside the stadium when he turned around and said that Marcus Rashford is League One at best. I've got messages in my phone when I pulled him on something, and he direct messaged me to say, "Can't we have this conversation? We don't need to have it in front of people." Blah blah blah. Then he tried to send me videos, and then actually told me that he thinks we'd be better off without Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
He wants to see Cavani prevail up front because he wants to see Martial play left wing so that Marcus Rashford don't start. All because he thinks Marcus Rashford is a threat to Anthony Martial and he loves Martial so much.
Yeah.
So this is what they're doing. And what people don't understand is I love Luke Shaw. But if Luke Shaw wasn't doing it and Tellers came in and was a revelation, I would love Tellers because he's doing it for Manchester United. I like Lindelof. I'm not the biggest fan of Bailly. But when Bailly played good, I would have been happy to see Bailly start against Liverpool.
Yeah.
I want Bailly to be the best defender in the world because that's only good for my club.
For the club, yeah.
And the problem is some of these people have been so against Ole as well that they can't do a U-turn now. They've gone too far. They've said such bad things about Ole that they cannot do a U-turn. It's impossible for them to do a U-turn because they've been that critical of Ole.
Correct, yeah.
And now they'll just stick with it.
See, for me, with the whole thing, and we touched on Rashford. Now, do you remember when we first started the season and Rashford was playing sort of as a number 9? I've always stated Rashford is not a number 9. Always stated it. So I had a nickname. I used to call him, like I used to say to people, it's like the rip-off version of Francis Jeffers. That's because he's playing a number 9 role. You move him to the left-hand side now, it's a different player. It's a total different player because he's coming in all the time and he can finishes. He can take people on. He can finish. But when you play him on that number 9 role, I just think he's just stranded. He hasn't got the sort of like that technical. Not saying he don't have the technical ability, but he doesn't have the movement. I look at sort of like Martial, what everyone criticised. His movement playing number 9 is better than Rashford. He's better than Rashford. But at the same time, you can't sit there to me and tell me Rashford shouldn't be in this United team and playing in this United team. Whoever, like, listen, to be honest with you, whoever it is has an agenda, and that's the only thing I would look at is an agenda. That's it, as a United fan. So, yeah, let me just whizzle through some of these. What's our Arsenal Combined 11? I'd love to sit there and go through it, Jay, but literally, we've probably got another...
really quick.
Go on, hit me up.
Quick. De Gea,
you do it, and I'll... Yeah.
De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw. I've got to think about the midfield. I'll go with Fred, Pogba, Bruno, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood.
There you go. I was going to sit there and hit a Man United team as well. That's it, combined 11.
I don't rate any Arsenal players.
Yeah. You see, I do like Lacazette. Lacazette was the only player I could see coming anywhere near the Man United team. Don't get me, Roll Smith, the youngster, he'll be good. He'll be good. But not too early.
Lacazette's out and out striker, and his numbers ain't even better than Martial's.
Yeah.
So I don't rate no Arsenal player at all, not one bit.
So Stefan, thingy Suarez,
Stefan Schwartz.
Schwartz. Yep. So oh wow, I forgot about Schwartz. Huh? Is it the? Hold on, no, I'm thinking of the goalkeeper. I'm thinking of the goalkeeper. That's what I'm thinking of. What's this? Want to get Bellingham, but
BVB got him. I don't think it was the right signing yet because he's so young.
Too young. Yeah. Nothing special about Poch, in my opinion. 1-0. He had been overhyped a little. His heart was this. His ain't great, but he would be good as a. You know what though, for the young, you know what though, for Poch, a lot of people said he ain't won nothing, but unfortunately, I got to tell people he's won a cup in his second game for PSG. In that, what league do we call it? I don't even want to get involved in it. This league doesn't even appear because it's only PSG, really, isn't it? It destroyed English midfield in the 99 Euro qualifying with Scholes and Beckham, etc. Sorry, man, I can't take that, man. Scholes and Beckham. Legends. Martial needs to release and need to be playing. Yeah, listen, again, I'm a massive fan of Twanzebe as well. I'm a huge fan of his, but again, injury is going to restrict him, isn't it, really?
I can't even comment to that. I'm not going to comment. He just said not after saying Martial needs releasing. I can't comment, bro.
And the guy you're talking about saying the Green Devils saying
Rick can't admit when he's wrong. Yeah, I already know that.
Options on Lindelof, partnership with Maguire. Do we need a new centre back and who? Oh, for me again, and you touched on it earlier. I would prefer. You're a Lindelof fan. And at the end of the day, like we said, if Lindelof could be world class and get that position tied down, then I'd say, yes, we keep Lindelof. But, my best partnership, I reckon, would be at United. And this might come as a surprise to a lot of people. It's going to be Lindelof and Bailly. I don't know. But that's me, though. That's my honest opinion.
Bro, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I had this conversation on Twitter this morning. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. If it's not out and out hate for players and not out and out hate for the manager, I can understand people's opinion. You got to respect people's opinion to a certain extent. Obviously, I don't agree with that. I think Maguire's the best centre back we've got by a country mile as well. I say that from when I see. We've tried Lindelof and Bailly together, and it looks terrible. And also, not only that, pay attention when you see a ball get played down the channel. Maguire's in front of the striker. He doesn't look nervous. He doesn't look like this striker's going to take the ball off him any minute, and he's going to end up with his face in the ground like Jones used to, or like we've seen Bailly do, or any other. He's going to come away with the ball, or he's going to put it in row Z.
Yeah.
That's composure and that's confidence you need in defense. And there's no one at our club who headers the ball as well as maybe not attacking. We need him to start getting more when we're taking our own corners. We need him to start getting them on target more. But defensively, he's solid. And my opinion on him and Lindelof, I don't think we need another centre back just yet. My opinion on him and Lindelof is. People say they're not pacey enough. How many times have we seen them be beat by a ball over the top and a striker's dusted them for pace? We don't.
You don't see it.
But we saw it. We saw an easy ball get played against Fulham when Bailly was playing there. Where was the pace? And we actually saw it again against Fulham. But De Gea luckily was so far off his line, he came out of his box and booted the ball away. Bailly was nowhere. So. If your two centre-backs are good enough, they don't need to have mad pace because it's not going to be very often that you're going to get a ball played through on both of them and they're not there if they can read the game well enough. So I think we're all right in defence at the moment. I just think we need to be a bit more fluid going forward because we ain't got no wingers.
Yeah, 100%. Mohammed is an Arsenal fan. He's saying we don't know about the combined Arsenal 11. Let's ask you, Mohammed. Let us know. Would Pogba get in your team?
What's that?
I've asked the question: would Pogba get into the to the Arsenal team? Because for last year and the year before, I was told by loads of Arsenal fans Pogba wouldn't have got anywhere close to this to their team. So let's ask a question.
I know, bro. They're 11th in the league, man.
Yeah. Who would I have captain? For me, honestly, at United captain, I'm going to split again because I would have Pogba or I would have had De Gea, one of the two as captain. My captain anyway. That's my captain of Man United. But again, Jose, we're not going to talk about Jose, but he made Pogba look absolutely split the fan base basically with his antics.
Yeah.
So was it the fact that option are there are great? Yeah, 100%. Green Devil, 100%. There are options. That's everyone has an opinion. Freedom of speech, isn't it?
I love it. Listen, I love that. I love that we can swap by Lindelof and Maguire around. I love that fact, and I'm hoping Tuanzebe stays injury free.
Oh, I love it. Yeah,
because that means you got 4 top centre backs. How can you not want 4 top centre backs at your club? But the problem is, fans will always have this agenda on there because one fan will like Bailly more than Lindelof, one fan will like Tuanzebe more than Maguire. Like, just be happy your team's top, innit? Be happy your team's top.
Exactly. Jay, I love this one from Jay though. Ole is one of the best managers in the world right now. Pep, which should be probably play on Klopp.
And look,
yeah, and the PE teacher in the league.
I put a video up. I put a video up yesterday, and just a bit about that, Jay. It was very simple. It was when Pep came into City. It wasn't about the players they signed. It was look how good Pep's made them. When Klopp come into Liverpool, it wasn't about the players he signed. It was look how good Klopp's made them.
Yeah, exactly.
8-9 games into the season, it was look how good Mourinho's made Tottenham. But when it comes to Man United, it's look how good Bruno's made them, or look how good Maguire, or look how good Rashford.
But again, I'm going to hit something in a minute. I'm just going to go through Mohamed's one. Mohamed's basically saying about, well, I'll let you answer that one.
Bro, please. They're 11th, and also their best results came when Gabriel was out. Was out with, I think it was COVID or something. That's when their best results came. That's when they started winning games. So like, I'm not going to take an Arsenal fan serious. And then he comes back into the team. He scores an own goal.
Yeah.
Like, come on, I can't take them.
So Jay's combined 11 would be De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Bailly, Shaw, Partey. But Partey ain't been played anyway. He's literally been injured all season, isn't he? Pogba, Bruno, Rashford, Greenwood, Cavani.
Partey.
I would agree with that. I'd have Partey in the team. I would. Fit.
I haven't seen enough of him to rate him.
Yeah, fit. I watch him for Atletico. He's good, but again, he reminds me of, who can I put it? You know, like obviously Drogba was sort of like obvious centre forward, but he's a bit like Drogba. But it's, how can I put it? He just dominate that midfield when he plays.
You know what it is for me? I tell you what it is. Well, when a new player comes to the Premier League, it's like Fred. I liked Fred, but I knew he'd need time.
Yeah.
It's like Partey now. When a new player comes to the Premier League, you need to see what he does, not over 1 game or 2 games.
It's over a season first.
And number 2, what I always look at in a player is if they're that good, they're meant to be that good. I look at it like this: does your previous team miss you?
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid are top by some distance, and they
with
wasn't
3 games in hand. With 3 games in hand,
and there wasn't last season. So that tells me they haven't missed him. They've actually progressed since he's gone. So was he good? I don't know. But like I said,
that's it.
In the future.
Yeah. We're gonna probably Romeo Linval Lloyd Stewart said Luke Shaw is our best player. Yeah. I'm going to probably start wrapping it up now. I'm going to ask you 1 or 2 more questions because it's gone well over the mark we said we wanted to do. So obviously we discussed, where do you actually see United finishing this season? Or where do you see us finishing? Because it's, like we said, it's one of the season. It's a bit weird, but I don't think it's weird. I just believe teams have worked out to play against other teams. But where do you actually think we will finish in the league this season?
My honest opinion, top 2. And I tell you what the horrible thing is. I was talking to my cousin about this the other day. The horrible thing now is, if you told me at the beginning of the season, especially with the transfer window we just had, if you told me we was going to finish 2nd, I would have bit your arm off, because for me, that's progress.
Yeah.
We've 6th. Ole only had half a season, though. We finished 6th. Then we finished 3rd. Then we've gone 2nd. You're progressing. You're not going backwards. You're going forward.
Yeah, 100%.
I would have bit your arm off for 2nd, because I would have said that's us progressing. Now the next, We finished second. That means we was better than 18 teams. One team was better than us. Now we need to close the gap with them. But the issue is, where we are right now, second's going to hurt because we're top and fans are starting to believe. A lot of fans are starting to believe, but we're top two. And top a title race is good enough for me. I didn't think we was going to be in a title race this season.
See, Romeo said first. Romeo believed we'll finish top of the league.
I love that.
Love the confidence, Romeo. Always confidence with United. Romeo, I think he's like 12. I think Romeo is. He's always tuning in as well.
Love that. That's. I like that you said first, Romeo. Brilliant.
Yeah, for me, I'm sticking like exactly you said. I think we're going to finish in the top two. I'm be happy with top two, and then next season another progression for next season. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we finish second and fans starts screaming Ole out because we miss out on. No, again, for me, that would be disrespectful. If we finish second, like you said earlier, I predicted us to finish about 6th or 7th this season with the signing, like you said earlier. But now we are where we are. Any fan who comes across and say, well, Ole out after finishing second, they're not football fans.
So can I ask you a question? I heard a lot of fans say this and I couldn't understand it. We finished third the previous season.
Yeah.
No one really progressed in transfers. Yeah. What made you think we would fall another 3 or 4 places? No, I'm not being disrespectful.
Oh, yeah. No, for
I genuinely want to know your opinion.
Yeah, for me,
how you thought of it.
Yeah, the whole thing for me with Ole is it's the team, the selection. You know, the chopping and changing. When he constantly chop and change, he never kept the same formula going. So for me, it's almost like this week we'll play. Say for instance, we'll play Scott and Fred in the middle. Then next week he's playing Matic and sort of like again, say Scotty. It's like it's chopping, changing. There's no regularity in the team. So for me, I was getting frustrated, and the only reason I was getting frustrated was because there was games where we're winning, and then all of a sudden next week it'll change again, and you're sitting there going, "But why are you changing it? You just had a winning team. I know it's about rotation." But you just had a winning team, and now you change it, and we've lost that game. And it was the smaller clubs beating us as well.
I hear what you're saying.
That's the frustration. So I honestly didn't think we'd be where we are now. And like I would say is, in that period of time, I would never go on social media saying, I wish we lose a game. I wish this. No, you still support the team. We'll win, lose, or draw. You're there. Even though you may not agree with some of the things, you're still there.
I want to answer this next one.
Okay, go on.
The difference here, Mohammed, is are Leicester missing Maguire? No, maybe they're not.
Yeah.
Do we regard Maguire as highly as you guys regard Partey? No, we don't. Also, the third thing is, have Leicester progressed? No, because they finished below Maguire last season, and they ain't going to finish above Maguire this season. Yeah. Atletico Madrid have progressed. They're top. Yeah. They're top. There's a difference. They've got better. Leicester haven't got better. They've stayed the same.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to just hit these ones and then we're going to probably jump off anyway because we've got to do a prediction score for tomorrow's game as well. Who have said I was confident? Romeo, mate, you're always confident. This is Charles. He's a Liverpool fan. Hello, Charles. You all right? Hope you're happy with the result on Sunday. It was brilliant. I loved it. Green Devil, if Maguire cost a tenner, people would be saying he's world class, but because he's 80 million, they're saying he's shit. Forget the price tag, nothing to do with us. Yep, 100%. 100%. It's nothing to do with us. But like I said, I call him Slabhead. I call him Slabhead for a reason. He's prone for a couple of mistakes, but like what Unofficial has said, again, and it is true, how often do we get beaten with a ball over the top? Not very often. Was that? There's only 2 points between you two.
You're talking about us and Leicester, but you're talking. But I don't. Mohammed, again, there you've fallen over yourself. You're trying to say Gabriel's better than any defender we've got, and there's about 1,000 points between us and Arsenal. Yeah. Now you're trying to compare Leicester about 2 points. Mohammed, please make it make sense. Please, bro. Please make it make sense.
All good, Charles. All good. Guys, this is FTB Sports, Unofficial Pundit. Listen, again, it's a pleasure. Let's look at something for next week or back end of this week. Jump on again.
Sounds good,
Let's
bro.
see
Sounds-
if we can
sounds
get like
good.
a Liverpool fan and Arsenal fan on this week with us to discuss it. And what's your prediction for tonight's for tomorrow's scores? Sheffield United.
I think we're buzzing with confidence at the moment. I'm going to go for something like a 3-1, 4-1. I think
Wow.
we hit 3 against them last time, but I think we're buzzing even more at the moment from just beating Liverpool as well. I think we're at 3-1 or 4-1. I don't think they're going to be a problem for us at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Green Devil says Arsenal have 2 centre backs, still needs another 2. Yeah, it's true. They do need some players. No, for me, I think I'm gonna be subtle. 2-0.
2-0.
2-0. Be subtle.
Good
2-0.
result. Clean
2-0.
goals. Yeah, I like that result.
Yeah, Jay 1-0.
1-0 United. Yeah, I'll even take that.
Listen, I'll take a penalty if it's it.
I take them scoring an own goal in the 93rd minute for us to get 3 points. I don't care. Just as long as we keep getting 3 points, that's all that matters.
Yeah. So, Mohammed, let us know when you're free, because apparently you're going to be on here with Unofficial Pundit.
Woo!
He's a very argumentative Arsenal fan as well.
I love it.
He's a very argumentative Arsenal fan. So, Mohammed, if you don't want to back off it, mate, come to us. Let me know. We'll get his plan.
You know what I done to Stitches, and he's gone missing. Stitches won't even reply to you. I'm disappointed in him. I'm disappointed in him.
Oh God! But listen,
everyone for tuning in. I'm going to be doing a little thing tomorrow. So if you're available, you can jump on. I'm going to be doing a little thing tomorrow to wrap up on our Fulham game and wrap up on our Liverpool game. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow about 3:00. So anyone who's tuned in today, please tune into that tomorrow. That's on my Unofficial Pundit. And thanks for tuning in, guys. And also follow Unofficial Pundit on Instagram and also Twitter as well, guys. I'm Soul United 7. We're FTB Sports. And as always, thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share, and we'll catch you again tonight for the Manchester United, Sheffield United preview show with Mr. B. Thank you. Cheers.